A lot of the videos that I end up doing are actually because I couldn't find what I was trying to find, and it gets frustrating. And I'm like, I just make a video that shows people what I would want to see. So relating to these shakers, they work great. That's all I can tell you. They do exactly what they're intended to do. If you're having a problem with them, the problem is either you're doing something wrong, the app, the phone, or something else. They're advertised to rock, to move your phone, to count steps. They work for that. I'm going to explain to you what I did to actually get them to work. I will additionally link the product that I'm using, these two right here, which are the double phone shakers. The ones I have in front of you they were $12.99 on Amazon. I'll link them down below. It's an affiliate link. If you use it, I'd appreciate it. I'll make a couple bucks. It's awesome. It doesn't cost you anything, and I get like 3%. So I'm not going to get rich, but it at least will fund a little bit of my Pokemon Go habit. The other thing I'll do is I wrote out a detailed description of what I did to get them to work. I'll link a couple of these because they're all the same. These were $12.99. There's some $19 ones. They're up to like $20. Sometimes there's a coupon, sometimes there's not. But there's no difference, just different sellers. So I'll link a few in case one seller goes missing or is out of stock or whatever. But like I said, I'll also link like step by step what I'm about to explain and what I do to get them working. You will read a lot of conflicting information. You'll have people telling you to put them in there upside down. You'll have people telling you to turn on airplane mode, to turn off Wi-Fi, to turn on Wi-Fi, to turn off GPS, to turn it off, to do all kinds of things. Here's what I do, super simple, and it works. To give you some idea on these two accounts, so I'm a rural player, so I multi. I have to. I've been stuck in gyms sometimes for like literally 2-3 weeks at a time, so it's really impossible to play without doing it. But this new weekly session just started for walking on the 13th, and these are the two accounts that are pretty much, they get neglected. I only use them for raids, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see, I have 203 kilometers here and 153 here, and that's just in the last 2 days. So it's awesome if you have like a community day coming up. Since I don't play these accounts very actively, I don't have enough candy for the Ghastly for the community day event, and I probably won't be able to come up with enough. So this allows me to walk and get a bunch of additional candy coming up to a community day event. So I have the Haunter is essentially as my buddy, just so I can get the candy. If you're trying to evolve a Magikarp or a Swablu, you'll definitely get enough candy in a week. Like, you could easily do it for something like that, even though it requires 400 candy. I remember just out trying to grind candy like crazy and pineapple and things, and getting my 6 candy and waiting for like double candy spotlight hours, like to transfer them to try to get enough. So this would do it in like a week, like really, really easy, which is nice. Super awesome for the stuff that only requires 1K to get a candy. So what else was I going to say? Here's essentially what you want to do. You are going to need the Google Fit app. So make sure you have that in your phone. If you're going to leave it swinging overnight, like I got 100,000 steps and almost 100 kilometers of what you're seeing here just overnight. Like I let it swing for 13 hours. So if you're going to let it swing overnight, I would start this at rebooting your phone. I would just reboot just to have a fresh start. If you're just trying to hatch an egg that you're incubating or something like that, I wouldn't say it's as important, especially if you're just not going to leave it swinging for a long time, because if something did go wrong and it didn't work, you wouldn't necessarily care as much. But what you want to do is you want to open up your, you have Google Fit. I'll say this. I would change Google Fit to kilometers just to make it easier to get some idea of if you've gone far enough to hatch an egg or whatever. It's just a little bit easier since you're already using kilometers in Pokemon Go. I would also set your height to over 8 feet. I think the max is 8'9", 8'11", or something like that. That, at least with every step, makes the game think that you walked further than you actually did. So that's a bonus. So what you want to do is you want to open up Pokemon Go, go into settings. You can see I've gotten pretty good at doing this with one hand on both phones. You're going to want to go to Adventure Sync. It should be checked. Go ahead and uncheck it and then recheck it. The reason we're doing that, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to enable Adventure Sync? Turn it on. Adventure Sync enabled. That's what you want to see. So you're going to want to see that. Then after you've done that, go ahead and just exit out of the game. And then you're going to want to actually go into, the reason that we did that is we just want to make sure Active Sync hasn't glitched out, isn't doing something weird, that it's actually working. So exit out, go into your settings, then go to apps and notifications. It's the little orange one. I'm on Android 10. If it looks a little different on your phone, that's why. You're maybe on 8 or 9. Under recently opened apps, let me see, this phone is actually on 9, I think. So I'll open it up on here too, just to show you the little bit of difference. So here it's a little bit different. It's still apps and notifications in orange, but recently opened apps, instead of being up here, is down here. But either way, you're going to want to click on Pokemon Go. You're going to click Force Stop. Don't accidentally hit install, if I recall. Yep. So it's on install here. This on Android 10, it gives you the option to open, but you want to hit force stop. It's going to say if you force stop an app, it may misbehave. That's okay. So go ahead and click OK. Now the app should be closed out. And you know that it stopped. The reason you want to do that is just so that it's not accidentally running in the background or something. I find it's very, very important to do that. Then go ahead and open up your Google Fit. This is my last session. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's showing 780 minutes of move time, 100,700 steps, and I've gone 75 miles. So I did that overnight. I left it on there for about 13 hours or something like that. What you want to do is you want to press the plus button down in the bottom right, track workout, and then set it to treadmill walking. That way it should just pick up the motion of the swinging. Start treadmill walking. It starts a little countdown. Get it in your swinger. Now I would leave your display to time out after, say, 2 minutes, and the reason being, these don't draw enough power to actually keep my battery bank on. So it'll go for just a second. You can see it picked up a little speed there, and then it actually turns it off, oddly enough. So just because I think it has like a pulse width module, so I don't think it's using constant power, but that's beside the point. But what you want to do is, we have steps on the bottom right there. You're just going to want to make sure that that's tracking. On my Moto 6, I have a Pixel 3, Pixel 2, 3A XL, BlackBerry Key 1, and then this Moto 6 that I just got really cheap. On this, it sometimes takes a little while. Like, it doesn't start to show up until it's over 100 steps. So just make sure that it's starting to show up. And then you can pull the phone out. You can see just in the time we did that, it's showing 0.1 miles and 144 steps. So that should give you an idea of how quickly it will log information. That's essentially over a mile every 10 minutes, which would be, well over a kilometer. I think approaching 1.75 kilometer or something like that. You're going to want to, at this point, hit pause and then hit stop. Pause is in the middle. You get a little red stop. Hit stop, and once that little circle stops spinning, you'll get the treadmill walk. It'll show you your distance, the information, and then just go ahead and minimize that open up your Pokemon Go. If you had an egg incubating, it should hatch almost immediately. Another good idea, if you're only gonna be putting a phone in there for like, say, an hour or two, go ahead and bring your buddy out, and that way you'll get the full 3 hearts for walking 6 kilometers with your buddy. But essentially that's it. It works. It does a great job. I'm super happy with them. I find that they're really, really stable. Even if I put my Pixel 3, which is the heaviest phone, along with the BlackBerry Key 1, which would be the next heaviest. You do have little bearings here. If this doesn't fit in there, there's a little groove for them, so just make sure it fits. You know, it could spread out a little too far and fall, but should fit in there just fine. But these are my 2 heaviest phones, and you'll see there, I turned it on. It'll go for a second like that, but you'll see it's super stable. I leave it on the counter for 13 hours with 2 phones in it. Have no problems with it rocking or anything like that. Again, I don't use airplane mode. I don't turn off the Wi-Fi. I don't put the phones in upside down. I don't do any kind of fancy things like that, and it works just fine every time. Never have a glitch. And sometimes I'll actually just stop it. I'll keep the phones in there. I'll go through. I'll do the steps that I just went through with you of pausing it, stopping it, minimizing the Google Fit app, opening Pokemon Go, hatching an egg, reclosing everything out, restarting the app, and then I'll just set it right back in there without even removing the phones and start it back up again. And no problems like that. I'm able to sometimes hatch like 6 eggs in an hour, which is really nice because you can't delete eggs, a feature I wish they would offer. But anyways, that's it. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Hopefully this helped. Peace out.